seek out Zephon's lair, Raziel. Beyond the ruins that greet your exit from the underworld. Armed with the Soul Reaver, you may gain entry where your path was previously blocked.
Welcome back to Soul Reaver. And the next stop for Raziel is Zephon's Keep, or its other name, the Silenced Cathedral. I apologize for running into walls. I thought at the moment that I could play through the game, well, run through this tunnel and drink at the same time, and it did not go as well as I had planned. And yes, we are going on foot because, once again, the fastest way is by far just going through this tutorial section. It's also a convenient way to not get lost, because the closest warp gate is the one near the Lake of the Dead, and that one has branching paths. And branching paths in Soul Reaver are not a good thing, because you can get lost easily, they're all the same. But this one's not as bad because we are already here. Now, the first thing that one must know about this is that the warp gate for the Silenced Cathedral is not inside, it's actually outside. So before getting in there, you really want to open to activate the warp gate. And here's another thing, there are human vampire hunters here, and upon the advice of Vicissitude in the thread, I tried to make them peaceful by draining them a bit so that they would remember me for my mercy, but it doesn't work. They do not get stunned, they do not get dizzy. I try to injure them a bit and leave, but this is not gonna work either. So unless I was doing something wrong, please tell me. And this is what Zephon's insignia looks like. And I suppose that this one kinda makes sense. I'll explain why in a second. One of the criticism for this game was, or for navigation in this game, was that the warp gate system is absolutely counterintuitive because the insignia are pretty much impossible to remember. But so far I'm playing through this and it kinda makes sense. Milkai's insignia looks like an M. Raziel's sign looks kind of like a wing. This one looks... you'll get in a second. But then again, I don't remember any other insignia of other vampire clan leaders, so... maybe it's just me imagining things. And these are the fledgling Zephonim. And oh, am I gonna grow to hate them with a burning passion. Now this is a confusing little section. The cutscene shows the path pretty clearly. It shows very clearly where you need to go, but this place and some other places in the cathedral, they have branching paths that serve absolutely no purpose. And yes, these things are gonna happen. This is me playing Soul Reaver, excuse me. Oh great, now I lost my train of thought. Branching paths. In the Silenced Cathedral there are branching paths that serve no purpose whatsoever, and this is due to the fact that Silenced Cathedral was originally planned to be bigger than it turned out to be in the end and is in the released version of the game. And some of the stuff was cut out, but wasn't cut out very well. Well, it's not Knights of the Old Republic 2 levels of not very well, but still. There is still some stuff that can throw you off the track. And this is part of the reason why you really want to know what you're doing when you're playing through this. And this is what Zephon do. Yeah, so they're kinda spider slash insect-y thingy. I think that this is the best description that I can give. Where Dumahim and Milkayahim are basically just your regular variations of ghouls. These things are insect-like. And if you remember what the insignia of Zephon looks like, it kinda looks like an insect. Sort of, kind of. Or a spider. Or both. Yes, I realize that I have to jump up, but I can't figure out where. Even though I saw it in the cutscene just now.
Once a testament to mankind's defiance of Kain's empire, this towering cathedral now stood derelict. The humans who worshipped here, dead for centuries. Its architects conceived this tower as a holy weapon against the vampire menace, a colossal instrument of brass and stone. The cathedral's pipes, once tuned to blast a deadly hymn, now stood silent, and these vacant spaces whistled their impotence.
And this is why I did not comment on why the place is called the Silenced Cathedral. And you do not want to fall down there. Yeah, so this is why I did not comment on the name Silenced Cathedral. It's because I wanted to let Raziel do the job. Well, this was bound to end badly. I'm not cutting this out. This is how the game is meant to be played. And this is the part where branching paths really begin to make you confused, because this door is the first thing that you see, but it is of no use yet. And going there will do nothing so far apart from wasting time trying to figure out what is going on there. And yes, we are now in for a sequence of block puzzles, and soon we are going to see why do I hate Zephon with such a burning passion. However, it's not going to be in this instance because this one actually goes a lot, like orders of magnitude better than it usually does. And I believe that the skip button should appear right about now. In case you are for some reason not familiar with Soul Reaver, this is far from being the only or the longest block puzzle in the game. It's gonna be much, much worse. These camera angles are truly beautiful. This is actually, or was actually going on in that, behind that door. And I don't know why I decided to try and fight this Zephon at first, because immediately I begin to listen to reason and decide that he can go and fuck off. That is a mindset that I will employ for as many times as I possibly can, but unfortunately I cannot run past all the Zephon, which is the reason why I hate them, I suppose. And there is another one which will become apparent during the next block puzzle. Now here in Zephon's Keep there's this weird thing with the Soul Reaver. Often when I stun an enemy with it and then draw it for the finishing blow, in the middle of this finishing blow, Raziel just randomly switches to a regular attack. And the finishing blow gets interrupted and nothing happens. This, I have no idea what the reason for that is, but rest assured it is going to screw me over. Although I don't remember if it's gonna screw me over on camera. but it can and will screw you up if you're not careful. And now you want to jump there. Now, this is basically how we are going to navigate the entirety of the Silenced Cathedral, because the cathedral is basically a big tower. Its design is based on a spiral minaret, and our task is to essentially get to the top. And to do that, we will have to solve a lot of puzzles that include a lot of pipes, a lot of blocks, and a lot of steam. Now, these aren't just humans. Or rather, they are. But they aren't vampire hunters. Instead, they are vampire worshippers. For what reason are any vampire worshippers still alive in this decadent era in the history of Nosgoth is beyond me. But I suppose they somehow managed to survive. And you thought Defiance camera was bad. Now I know that Zephonim are gonna jump me at any moment. As you can see, every single time I put in a block, I just begin to run around this room, because the chance of Zephonim spawning is very, very high. And they are a pain in the ass to fight. Here I realized that I have been moving around the wrong block, and this is where they try to jump me. And you can't just ignore them, you're locked here with them. And right now, when they are only spawning one at a time, it's quite tame. But in the later puzzles there will be 2, 3 Zephonim spawning at the same time. And it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible because you can't really stun a Zephonim, kill it, and then proceed to the next one. Nor, because they are very fast, nor can you stun several of them, kill one, and then handle the others like we did with Malachim back when. Because they recover from a stun almost instantly. I don't think that they stay stunned for more than maybe a second and a half. and it makes them a spectacular pain to deal with. Again, I don't really remember if I catch this on camera, but there were instances where I had to shift back and forth between physical and spectral realms just to recharge my Soul Reaver 5-6 times within one encounter, and it was horrible. At least in the later parts of the castle, the puzzles will no longer be block puzzles, and it will be possible to just run away from Zephon, which is exactly what I'm gonna be doing, trust me. And I have just managed to rant through an entire block puzzle. Congratulations! Now, thankfully there aren't 3 more block puzzles, there's only 1 more block puzzle. Actually, no, wait, there's 2. But one of them is not connected to these switches that we heard. Wait, switches that we heard? I need to get more sleep sometimes. And this door leads Raziel to another exciting block puzzle. And we finally meet an adult Zephon, and that's what it looks like, and it does not get stunned in one hit. It takes like, I think 2 hits from the Soul Reaver. Which makes them all so much harder to deal with. And here I stand for a minute to contemplate my life, because I know that as soon as I start moving around these blocks, he will jump back onto the floor, and it is inevitable. I just stand there hoping that he will jump off regardless of that before I start moving the blocks, but it is not bound to happen. I try to trick the game, but this doesn't work either. So in the end, I just have to do what is necessary and man up and start moving around the blocks. There we go. And this is how the fights with multiple Zephon and sometimes even single adult Zephon go. Except you're not always gonna have access to a weapon. Enjoy the rest of the block puzzle if you wish. Exciting. I hate the block puzzles. And here I realized that I need to be in the physical realm to open the door. Now you will have to excuse me for about a minute here for forgetting the order of things to do. This bell should actually be the second one you hit, but this is not the correct way you go back down. It'll become clear in a second. Yeah, I apologize for this. I completely botched my order of things to do. Looking at this, you wouldn't think that I have actually played through this about a couple of hours before recording. Here's what you should actually do. No, not this. You do need to get down, but you do not do this in this manner. This is how you get down. And as you can hear, the bell is no longer ringing, meaning that I ran out of time. Fantastic. I must note that it is not immediately clear what that accomplished. now you can get down there. And there's another route. And this lever actually moves a platform and creates this opening, but it will close in about 1 or maybe 2 seconds. However, as the time does not move in the spectral realm, you should do that in the spectral realm. You should get there in the spectral realm, but this is what happens with this opening that we used the first time with the bells. So essentially you have to get down for the bells to get down for the shortcut. And I almost shift back to physical realm. This is actually where we are supposed to go. But first, we do this. And despite the fact that I saw this door and I ran towards it, something weird goes through my brain and I decided that, screw it, I should just go where I'm supposed to go, even though I really should not do that. But well, as you can probably see, the video is about to end and I am about to cut it off very soon, and I will rectify this mistake in the very beginning of the next part. Does this not remind you of xenomorphs? They too have cocoons with people that they hang on the walls or stick on the walls. Except these aren't people and are actually eggs with new Zephon. This is just my controls failing me. Not my fault. This is how we progress, and now we just have one Zephon to take care of, and I will leave you here. Thank you for watching, and next time we will continue our way through Zephon's Keep, or the Silenced Cathedral, and we will actually get to Zephon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.